talking with Lori and Liz from Mind Over Myelin Sheath. Welcome tonight.
Thank you.
All right, let's just start with some introductions. I know last time we talked to a few other individuals from the group, but Liz, let's start with you and talk a little bit about yourself and who you are.
My name is Liz Massoyan, and I have secondary progressive MS, and I live in Pinckney, but come to South Lyon for the sport group.
Okay, cool. And Lori?
My name's Lori Svensson. I live in Novi, but I also come here for the Mind Over Myelin Sheath support group. And I'm just blessed and thankful every day that I found them.
Cool. All right, so let's first unpack a little bit about what MS is. 'Cause I think some of it's a misunderstood thing, and if you can just a little bit explain about what MS is.
Yeah, so MS is a disease of the central nervous system. It affects the brain, the spinal cord, and really it affects your entire body. It is an autoimmune disease, so your body actually attacks your brain and your central nervous system. And what happens is it attacks the myelin sheath that's around the nerves that conduct through your body.
Okay.
So if you think of all the different nerve fibers going through your body as like an electrical cord, and the myelin protects that cord that runs through like an electrical cord.
Gotcha.
And then when it attacks that myelin sheath or that plastic coating, it affects the different areas of your body that those nerves are connected to,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Gotcha. And so what type of limitations are there with MS? When you're living with MS, what do you see as the biggest limitations?
Well, each of us are different depending on where those areas of our nerves or brain have been affected. So some of us have what we call sensory difficulties, whether it be pain or numbness or those sorts of things. Some of us have mobility issues, could be having difficulty with your what we call foot drop, or it could be, like myself, somebody in the wheelchair.
Right.
So it's really a big gamut of different disabilities.
Right.
They actually call it the snowflake disease because not any one person is alike.
It's the same.
The things that I have with me are different from what Liz and many other people have.
Right. So it is quite the spectrum of challenges that various people have with the disease and so forth. So now I know there's a support group here in town as well, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
And what does that offer up for you?
So I found the Mind Over Myelin Sheath support group here in South Lyon 4 years ago, I believe it was. They've been around for, I believe, close to 5 years. And we come together once a month. It's nice to be with people who understand what you're going through. We all have our wonderful support group, families, friends, and all that, but there's something about being with people who understand exactly what you're going through. So we have nice discussions once a month about different issues that we may be having and bounce things off of each other. And we do fun things as well. The Pumpkin Fest here in town, we get involved with a little bit. And yeah.
And one thing that I really think is important, I found them about 3 years ago. I think actually I was at an MS yoga class, and Lori's one of the people that invited me. And what I like is, yes, we're all walking the same path, but they're all different. But we can talk about the resources that we use. You know, this doctor, this medication, or this therapist has really been helpful.
Right.
So it is really helpful to have those sorts of support as well.
Right. Now, as far as where the group meets and so forth, how you said you meet once a month, and where does that meet?
It is the Church of
Christ.
The Church of Christ here in South Lyon.
Okay.
Yep.
And is it a particular night for like the first Tuesday of the month, or what's the normal cadence for that?
It's once a month, every
Fourth Sunday
Fourth Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
at 3 p.m.
Okay.
typically. And we all communicate, whether it be email or text each other, because several of us have become really good friends outside of the
Sure,
sport.
and that's the thing too, is that it's not just that once a month time that you'll have with folks, that you'll be able to, connect with other friends, other individuals who are dealing with the same condition, outside? And what type of other activities do you guys do as a group, or individually as well?
Well, Lori and I and another lady meet once a month for lunch.
Oh, nice.
Just to chat, and we've done the MS walk together at Kensington.
There are several of us in the group that do MS yoga.
Okay.
And we do other things on Zoom that, hey, did you know this was coming up, or
Yeah.
that sort of thing, different
Right.
fundraisers.
We get together for holiday gatherings and things like that. So it's really kind of more than a support group. I
Right.
mean, we're there to support each other for sure, but we enjoy other things outside of that as well.
Right.
As well as our caregivers. They're pretty involved in the support group, so we do activities with ourselves and our caregivers with other people from the group as well.
Right. And what would you like the general population to know about MS? Like, what if you had a message for them as far as the disease and what you go through? Like, what would you want to share with them?
I believe that it's not always visible when somebody has MS, and we're all different, so therefore, when you know one person with MS doesn't necessarily mean, somebody else has the same, challenges that they're approaching. Yeah. What do you think? Is there?
Yeah, I would agree with all that.
As well as it is manageable. You can live your best life at
Right.
whatever level of challenge you have,
Mhm.
and there's people out there to support you in that.
Right, which is great to have that support group, not just within other individuals who are going through MS, but also caretakers and
Right.
just the general community as well. So,
Yes.
Yeah, and we have several caretakers that, husbands, spouses, friends, who are very involved in the meetings as well.
Right.
They come with their spouses, and they're there, and they're really important to be
And
there.
then so if someone has MS, how would they find out about the group? Is there a Facebook page, a website that they could go to?
We do have a Facebook page. It's called Mind Over Myelin Sheath. And I know I contacted the MS Society. That's how I found the group.
Okay.
And our leader is Mary Parisian, and people can, contact
That is
her.
great. Yeah, wonderful. So wonderful. Well, anything else you'd like to share with us tonight?
I didn't think I'd ever get involved with a support group. And when Lori and some of the other people had invited me, I thought, well, hey, they're positive people. And so when you go there, it's not complaining or upset about your disease process, but it's really problem solving, and I think a positive way to come out of the support group. Do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I was very nervous to start coming to a support group. I thought that it might bring me down, but actually it lifted me up.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Liz, Lori, thank you for coming out tonight and sharing with us a little bit more about Mind Over Myelin Sheath.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Wow.